Hello, this is Verity Rollins, and I'm with Our World Media Magazine, and we're here with Maya Singletary of Majestic Closets.
Hello.
So, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Can't complain. So, looking at your website and some of your work, you're an organizer. So, what made you start this whole organization thing?
Actually, it was on a fluke. I actually went to dog sit co-worker's dog. She had to fly to Chicago, and she asked me at the last minute, "Can you go watch the dog for me?" She literally worked across the street from the office, so I'm like, "Sure, it's fine." So I'm looking for dog food because her dog ate at like 10 p.m. at night for some odd reason. And I couldn't find the food in the house. I'm like, oh my God, where's the dog food? Where's the dog food? And I'm opening up her closets, and I just realized how chaotic and unorganized her closets were. And it just triggered like this, not a panic attack, but like this overwhelming sense of anxiety. So I said, I see why she's so anxious. So I decided I'm just going to go ahead and fix this girl's closet. Like when she comes back from, her trip to Chicago, she can yell at me then, but I need to take care of it now. So that was essentially the catalyst for Majestic Closets.
So, when she came back, what did she think of the closet?
She was stunned. She was thrilled. I was thrilled because I thought she was going to throw me out immediately, but she loved it, and she actually became my first client.
Oh, that's good. So what were you doing before you started doing?
I was typical corporate America admin assistant, and that was quite lovely. Sarcasm dripping. But I just wasn't fulfilled. I knew there was something more. Because I don't think I'm very creative, but I have an eye for pretty things, aesthetically pleasing things. And I just knew that I wanted to tap into that. And it just so happens that, dog sitting led to me tapping into that.
So how long was it before you quit your job and you started doing organizing?
I organized her closet, if I'm not mistaken. It was either September or October of 2016. And I was laid off the Monday after Thanksgiving 2016. So it was a quick turnover, but I've been full steam ahead with it. And so it was relatively quick, like the business cards, the setting up on Instagram and Twitter. The biggest issue actually to launch was the website. But other than that, I had been organizing for years at that point.
Okay. So is this kind of like an extension of your personality? Are you naturally like an organized person?
I would say I am. I know everything has a specific place. I just don't like to see things just astray. It's just like, no, your bed isn't astray. Your bed is in a fixed location. Your TV's in a fixed location. So everything else in your life needs to be in a fixed location. So everything has its place.
Okay. So let's say I'm a client. I come to you and I'm like, Maya, everything is in disarray in my house. I need you to organize me. So how does that process start? Like, what do you do?
Okay, well, as I explained, I actually did a webinar last week, and there are 5 simple tips to organizing work and life. And what I explained to clients is that organization is applicable across the board, whether it be work, life, relationships. There are 5 steps that you have to take, no matter what it is. So, people think, oh my God, is there rocket science behind it? No, it's just you have to start at the bare minimum and then you break it down from there. So like the first step, I would have to take inventory. I have to see all of your stuff.
Okay.
I can't just, people will ask, oh, how much do you charge? I've never been to your home. I've never taken any measurements. I don't have any pictures. I cannot say what it's going to be because I don't know. I have to physically come in and do a consultation. So the first step, like I stated, was taking inventory and decluttering. Mm-hmm. Once I see it and get a visual picture of the space you have to work with, if you want to make some additions and changes, because you're going to lose items and you're also going to gain. So there's three, actually it's called the 3 R's in the take an inventory stage. And that's retain. Those are the items you keep for yourself. Reward, items you give to others. And remove, items you just throw in the trash.
Okay.
So that's when you get the 3-step process, and I explain it to clients, they're like, oh, I get it. So that's pretty much how it starts. And we build from there.
Okay. And then what would the next step be? So you come in, you take an inventory of all my stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I decided what I'm going to keep. I'm throwing stuff away, and I'm giving stuff away.
Yes.
So what do I do next?
Okay, then after you do that, you have to assess. So you have to determine exactly what you have at that point. And then it comes to the designated spaces.
Okay.
So people like designated spaces, like I stated before, everything has a specific place. Mm-hmm. So you may have an additional 5 feet in your closet because you've gotten rid of things. You've thrown things out. So you can say, okay, well, I plan on purchasing a particular coat in a couple of weeks. I know I wanted to go here. We can build off of that blank spot.
Okay.
And we can build out from there. Or say if you want to add a bench to your closet, like if you have the theft, we can do that too. Okay. So it's basically taking the visuals, assessing, and then you can go ahead and plug things in from there.
Okay.
So after you do, I'm sorry, do you want to know the next step?
Yes.
The next step is visibility. Mm-hmm. And I tell people this all the time. If you don't see it, you don't remember it. Out of sight, out of mind. It's the truest statement ever. If you go shopping on a Friday night, I'm going to wear this dress, and you put it in your closet, you will forget. I'm telling you, it happens to the best of us. Okay. Jeans have been purchased like, oh, I didn't even know I had those jeans. So if you want to use something frequently and it's of some sort of value or significance, you need to see it. Okay. If you don't see it, you're not going to use it. It's going to take up space for something that you really can use or something you actually do need. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And then, so you decided we got rid of stuff, gave stuff away.
Yes.
Threw stuff away.
Yes.
Then you saw what space I had, you took measurements, and then out of sight, out of mind, I decided what I want to use on a frequent basis. Right. What I don't want. And then what else?
Then this step is a little tricky for a lot of people, but I call it color coordination. And people like color coordination. I'm telling you, color coordination saves a lot of headaches. For example, office space. I talk about how important color documents, colored folders or anything that triggers a color. Like for important documents, passports, marriage licenses, wills, anything that, birth certificates. God forbid, if there's a fire, you need to have those documents. You put them in the red folder.
So you know what to grab just in case.
Exactly.
So I grab everything that's red.
Right. You grab that red folder because you know that, if the house goes up in flames, I still have my Social Security card, my birth certificate. Those are your most vital pieces of information. Okay. And red is a trigger color. It signals you to stop. Be alert. Take notice. That's why ambulance have red lights. That's why we have red stop lights and stop signs.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like yellow, the next color, I tell people yellow is a pending color. It's something, it alerts you. You have yellow highlighters, which are the most popular colored highlighters. It just makes you take notice, but it's not as intense as the red.
The red. Okay.
So if you have a bill pending, like, I have to pay this bill on the 5th, and you see the yellow folder, you're like, okay, maybe I need to open up this folder and see what's in there, what needs to be taken care of immediately.
Okay.
So same thing for clothes. Yeah, because like if you look at a closet, like my closet, for example, everything's on the color spectrum. It starts from sleeveless whites to yellows to grays to reds, blues, and then it becomes absolutely black.
Okay, so after you kind of organize everything, right?
Yes.
What if your client is like a naturally messy person? So how do they maintain that?
They call me again.
They call you again?
Now, some people, I've actually had 2 clients who told me from the very beginning, I'm going to have to call you frequently. And I'm like, great, that's business. I could just hear the cha-ching, cha-ching in my head, but I think it's something about actually seeing the finished product, and people are just so much lighter. Their anxiety is gone, and they're like, wow, like I like the way this feels. I open up my closet and it is light. It's not that throw the shoes, slam the door. So I think people get into the habit of maintaining what it looks like, because it's actually quite pretty.
Okay.
But
so this is just not like this is like a lifestyle for you.
Yes.
So, and this goes in all aspects of your life.
Right.
Okay.
Because if you start at the closet, like, people don't realize, like, most people become very anxious when they open up doors. Mm-hmm. And closets, like, the last thing you want to do is open up a closet door and just see stuff everywhere. If it's color coordinated and structured, it is just, what am I going to wear to work today, as opposed to, oh my God, did I wear that yesterday? Because it's just overwhelming. And this is New York City. Everyone has a million things going on. The last thing you want to do is be overwhelmed in your home. Your home is supposed to be peaceful and relaxing. I'm a Cancer. Home is everything. So if my home is out of order, my life is out of order.
Okay. So how do you translate just the regular organization of, let's say, your closet, your house, into other parts, like, you know, like you said, like your relationships? How do you transfer that stuff? Like, how do you organize that?
The 5 basic steps. You take the inventory. You say, for relationships, in the webinar, I was explaining to the co-host, you know, you wake up one morning and you're just like, okay, something's wrong, something's askew, I'm just not happy. I have to take inventory on the things that are in my life. Okay, it's a little cluttered. Okay, let me see something. Okay, you know what? This is my best friend for the past 20 years. We've been through ups and downs, but I love her dearly. She's like a sister. Check. I'm retaining her. Okay. Rewarding. You know what? I think that I'm not the best person in this particular relationship, in this particular job. Maybe I just need to leave the situation to give it to someone who appreciates it more. The rewarding. And the removal is just getting rid of anything and everything that's toxic. Okay. It's just like, you got to go, you're removed. So I think that's the most applicable. The first step is the most applicable across the board.
So then, how would you color code them?
I would say like the filing system, the red, the yellows.
Okay. So then you'll have like, the red would be good friends. Red is retained.
The red is a retained.
Those are your best friends. Like your best friends.
Those are like your ride or dies, your get out of jail free people. Like, they have your bail money. Like, those are the people you keep on rotation.
So in red. So like in my phone, they would go into like a red filing system. Like the checks red. So what color would be the ones that you like don't call or anything? They go into like a block list. And then what about those other friends? What color would you give?
They would just remove. My thing is, this is like, I don't like to focus on things I got rid of, because I got rid of you for a reason. Okay. So I don't want to be reminded of that. So if you fade into oblivion, that's fine. Just as long as you're completely gone, that's all that matters. So
what about the friends who you're not getting rid of them, but you're just not hanging out with them a lot? What color would you give them?
I guess I would say orange. And the reason why I say orange is because it's a non-threatening color, but it's just like, it doesn't trigger like this. It doesn't evoke fear, nor does it evoke this happy place. It's just like, it's very neutral. Okay. So let's say the color coordinating system, since we're talking about that, can the person who is, so let's say I really don't want red as my important color. I want something like maybe blue. Would you recommend that, like them to choose their own color coordinating system? They can. I mean, I always tell clients, at the end of the day, I want you happy, because I'm not going to come back. I don't wake up every day to this. Blue, I always say, is a very soothing, serene color. So I don't put important or, pressing documents in there. But if someone says, I like blue just does something for me, by all means, use blue.
Okay.
but I just always suggest like red. There's just something about red that triggers.
Okay.
Or just, I mean, it's whatever. Like if you have like pink, blue, like these soft pastel colors, it's just like, we'll figure it out. I mean, I'm not going to leave you hanging just because you're on the pastel spectrum as opposed to, the bold, the primary colors.
Okay. So let me ask you, since we're talking about, other aspects that organization is good, do you also do it in like your diet and things like that?
I have. As of right now, it's too hot to eat anything. So now it's just water consumption. But yes, I have a blender in my kitchen, and I used to make smoothies every morning. So I would definitely lay out the turmeric, the bananas, the lemons, the flax seeds with the honey. Like everything had a place on the counter. And in the refrigerator, there were, the sliced fruits. And they went in actually a blue Tupperware container.
Okay.
The blue I knew was for the blender. B&B. That's just how
All
my
right, so
mind
blue is for
operates.
blender. So what other colors did you have?
I have blue and red.
So what was the red for?
Everything else.
Everything else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it seems kind of like for us messy people, because I am a messy and very disorganized person. I think I'm more I guess for some reason just disorganization kind of works for me. It's kind of like somebody looking in and be like, yo, he is very disorganized. But I guess in my head, it's kind of like organized. I know like that pile of stuff there, that's like what it is, and this pile is that,
Yeah. It's just not aesthetically pleasing.
Yes,
that's
it's not.
That's
exactly
the thing. It's just like, if you're messy, by all means be messy. If you're changing the world and just doing amazing things, maybe that's how you find your creativity.
Okay.
But when you get to a point where you're like, you know what, I need help, or I need someone to give me just some tips, or just basically a blueprint on how I can get to being less messy, that's when you call me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for like us people who are kind of like not as neat as you are, you could be considered a little, I guess, anal, kind of.
Yeah, OCD.
OCD.
Anal, yeah.
So, were you this way all your life?
No, I was a mess, literally and figuratively. And then I went to college, and I just saw like all of these like well-to-do girls with like these amazing, really pretty, structured, organized dorm rooms, and I'm like, this is so calming. This is so pretty. I want that. And I just took pointers from their color coordination and how I felt when I walked into their dorm rooms and said, you know what? I really like this, but I never took it seriously. Like I never thought it would be an occupation or a lifestyle until much later in life. But I know exactly where everything is. But I will say I have an aunt who is probably the most organized person I have ever seen in my life. And she has, you won't even see a hair out of place. She is very diligent and consistent. So being around her, that has definitely triggered the organization bug too.
Okay. So has there ever been a point in your life after you started really organizing things that your life has been kind of like chaotic?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So how do you kind of like resolve that?
This may sound really corny and cliche, but I will do one of two things. I'll go to the Bible, and I'm like, okay, there's something else going on. I have to get back into the Word and just focus. Mm-hmm. Or I will watch T.D. Jakes. I did not realize how soothing and just this man was. Like, he could convince me to just walk in the middle of Adam Clayton Powell and no one will hit me. I will not be hit by a car.
Okay. So let's say, things are getting, I guess, let's say, out of control. Do you, since you're very organized, do things start to become like disorganized, and that's when you know that you need to make some kind of change?
Yeah, it's more visceral. Like, I can feel something and I'm just like, okay, something's off. Like, whether it be the way something's set up, like, I can't do any work in clutter. Like, before I sit down and actually start to look for items that need to be purchased for reorg, I need complete and utter structure. If a piece of paper is this, no, like everything needs to be done. So when I sit down, my sole focus is on making sure
to organize first.
Yes.
And then, so I mean, does that kind of like hinder you from getting like things started, knowing that everything has to be like organized first before?
It can, but I'm one of those weird people where I can, when I'm under pressure, like if someone says you have 2 hours to complete this particular task, I can put something together. First of all, I'm going to organize wherever I sit and put it together, and then it's going to be amazing. So, I mean, would we like more time to do things? Absolutely, but I can definitely make it happen.
Okay.
So.
That's very interesting. So is there anything else that so what's like on the horizon now? So is there like a book that you're working on? Because it seems like a whole big like lifetime like philosophy for...
I don't know if I'm ready for the book world just yet, but I just launched a YouTube channel like 2 days ago. I hope it's launched. I have to go back and see if it's actually working properly. But I'm actually going to have a launch party around my birthday towards mid-July. And I'm just going to go out and talk to a couple of friends during the happy hour, tell them to bring some friends, and we're just going to discuss, if you have any questions about organization, just talk to me. Because a lot of people what I've realized is that a lot of people like have this shame. They just feel like, oh my God, my house is messy. I'm so embarrassed. I don't want people to see it. And I'm like, if it weren't for people like you, there wouldn't be people like me. So it's a very intimate, personal experience. And I've had some people pull me to the side and say, look, I'm going to send you a picture. Don't judge. It's a judgment-free zone. I'm not going to judge. If anything, I'm going to help you get to where you want to go and where you need to go. Because I just don't think that people can get on in this world and just blah. That's not a good way to be. Besides, like I said, New York City is already chaotic. Like, you have enough to worry about. You have jobs, you have your second jobs. In some cases, your third job. You have family, you have friends, you have work. It's just too much. The last thing you want to do is open up a closet and be like, I can't go out, and just go into a hole. You need to tackle certain things that you can't control and just go from there. Okay. And I help with that.
So are you going to expand into like corporate clients?
In a perfect world, absolutely. Actually, on the website, it talks about the year-round maintenance and the closet organization, but I also do wardrobe updating as well. My first client, who I dog sat for, she actually was my first client for the wardrobe updating. There were a couple of things I'm just like, absolutely not. You have a great shape, you're young, you're athletic, you need to have this. Okay. And so I did that. That's actually more enjoyable than doing the closet. It was so much more, your creativity really just comes out. Because when you're doing closets, you have a very limited space. When you're picking out wardrobes and clothes, oh my goodness, that's...
So let's say somebody decided that, they need a professional organizer. Somebody that'll come in, they'll help them organize their home. Somebody will help them organize their wardrobe, and they just want you to do that for them, just them. So let's say, I don't know, Jay-Z decides to come to you, and he's like, Maya, I want you to organize, I don't know, Beyonce, she needs a personal organizer, and this is your job. I want you just to do her. That's it. You're Beyonce's organizer. Would you leave like your own little business of what you're doing and just become like that organizer for one person? Because it seems like you're organizing, it's like a big philosophy of yours. So you're organizing kind of like their life. Kind of.
Yeah. Man, that would be hard because I love Beyonce. I'm not part of the Bayhive, but I love my Beyonce. That is actually a very difficult question because styles evolve, people evolve, And I think you just learn so many different things from dealing with so many different people rather than just be all Beyonce all the time. And it's just like, man, like, I love you. I love this that you sing and you're amazing. But I think I would grow more as an organizer, as a person, by having different or multiple experiences.
Okay. I don't know. I think I would jump ship and end up going to Beyonce.
That check the I cannot. Oh man, just the thought of that, like just to have that stability for my grandchildren, that'd be nice. But at the end of the day, it's not all about money. But I mean, let me tell you something. If she were to call today and say, "Hey, the twins are here. Can you do?" I'm dropping this mic and I'm out the door. I'll get back to you. I may have a different response after that experience. Like, yeah, it's me day now.
Okay. I would go for it. So let me ask you, how's your business growing?
Well, once I launched the website, and that's when it really I started to get noticed. But mainly it was word of mouth. I mean, a lot of people are just like, you're doing something very intimate. You're entering into someone's home. You're entering into their closet. So you have to portray this image or give off this image that you can trust me to come into your home. I'm not judging. I'm here to help you. So that is really, really, really important. And I think that once people see me out and about and they're just like, oh, she's just like one of us, or, trust me, what I do to me isn't rocket science, but I know the tools that will definitely help you to make your life much easier. Okay. So once they get once they see how I am, I'm actually very goofy. and I have like this warped sense of humor, but once they get to know me and realize like, okay, I'm at peace, but she also knows what she's doing. I have to tell people about this girl. Like, oh my God, I'm going to tell.
So do you usually work by yourself? Do you have like a team?
It's just me.
It's just you?
Yes. So I'm the girl walking down the street. I have like this fancy bag that one of my clients actually gave me. I was just like, oh, you're from the heavens. And I have my measuring tape, my digital camera, my iPad, my pencils, socks. Because when I go there, I don't look like this when I do a reorg. This is more of a consultation outfit. Okay. But when I'm in that closet sweating and pulling things and throwing things and chucking them or whatnot, that is t-shirt, jeans, and socks. And I'm getting it done.
Okay. So do you see yourself hiring more people?
Absolutely. I'm actually looking into getting an intern because I'm just like, I just need someone from Columbia, St. John's, Baruch, any one of these schools, City College. Like, they need to reach out to me and say, hey, like, she seems really interesting. She seems like, I will feed you. I just need you to be able to know that when it's work mode, it's work mode.
So has this been able to like pay the bills and everything on its own?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, I will say this. I have an amazing core of friends that they may change their numbers soon. But no, it's growth. And the great thing about my friends are just like, look, businesses don't happen overnight. Like, I think that was one of my biggest mistakes. I thought that once the website launched, like my phone was going to be ringing off the hook. I was going to get all of these inbox messages. It was crickets. It was dead silence. And I'm just like, what is going on? So the best thing I did was reach out to people, fellow entrepreneurs, like, how did you get on TV? How did you get this? How did you get that? And they were just explaining to me, this is what I did. Something that's as simple as increasing your hashtags on Instagram. I never would have thought of that. They were like, no, girl, you got a hashtag. You got a hashtag. That was probably like the light bulb moment. Okay. And I'm like, oh man, duh. But my thing is this is like, people may feel the same way when I tell them like, this is the 3 R's of organization. Like, I never thought of that. So we're both having these aha moments, so to speak. But The first webinar I did, it was actually with a childcare CEO.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with closets. It was more or less 5 tips for simple organization. And I was just like, how do I do this? How do I approach this? And I'm sitting down and I'm going through my notes because I take very diligent notes. And I'm just like, organization is the same across the board. So whether it's a classroom, whether it's life or whatever, like these are the steps you need to take.
Okay.
So that's what I did. And it was actually interesting. Like, she was just like, I didn't know certain things. And I'm like, my message is getting across.
That's good. So what I'm going to ask you is there like an entrepreneur that you kind of admire, that's kind of like, you kind of look and hope to build your business off of like that, kind of like in their growth?
You know what? There are 2 people that come to mind. One is my friend Napoleon Suarez. He's actually based in Philadelphia. He just launched Fishbox. Hey, Napoleon. And another friend of mine, Mr. Gray. And he has gone from so many different facets of his life. Like, he's owned barbershops, he's owned property management businesses, but he's like, the general rules apply across the board when it comes to entrepreneurship. And these people don't sleep, but they're passionate about it and they make it work. And I was just totally clueless. Like, I had the skills, I had the talent to go and fix closets. But I don't think people realize like the other things that are, the behind the scenes things, the business, and making sure that your money is right, making sure that, your LLCs and things like that are taken care of, making sure that at the end of the day, no one steals your idea and copyright infringement. Like, you have to make sure all your bases are covered and you still have to be good at what you do. So, that's really, really important. But also I learned that you have to have love for what you do. You have to eat, sleep, breathe it. Like, my life is consumed with pretty, organization, and closets. Like, when I go to the supermarket, I'm just like, oh, this is, oh, that's not organized. That's actually out of place. Like, you do it so much, like you could do it in your sleep. And the webinar that I did, that was my first webinar. I have it completely memorized. So if someone's just like, I need you to do it in 20 minutes, no cue cards, I'm there. And it's just, I'm rattling it off, like rattling it off, like, and go from there.
That's good. So do you have any advice for like young women who are entrepreneurs trying to basically do the same thing you're doing?
Yes. Don't quit your day job. Like, it takes money to make money. Like, you still have to eat. I don't know who's a trust fund kid out there, because I don't consider them entrepreneurs. And a lot of people say that's very controversial. But if all else fails, they have something to fall back on. If you're an entrepreneur and this is you, it has to work. But you have to be smart in making sure that at the end of the day, you got food in the fridge, or you have to make sure like bills are paid. You have to make sure that all of the things that need to be taken care of are taken care of. Okay. I say that why, but it's you have to love what you do, because there will be moments when you will question yourself. There will be moments when you'll sit back and say, what am I doing? There was a lot of that. I say right before the website launched, there were moments where I sat and really questioned myself, like, oh my God, and can I do this? How do I do this? But that's when you suck it up, buttercup, and say, I got this. Stop downing yourself, get up and get it done. Use your resources. And that's another thing I would say to young female entrepreneurs. Resources, resources, resources. If you have friends that are entrepreneurs, reach out to them, ask them questions. If they don't want to help you, it's okay. Find someone else who will. But at the end of the day, you have to be as resourceful as possible. Okay. Mix and mingle. If you're at a happy hour and say you're a fashion stylist and your favorite designer or artist is going to be at this particular location. You get to that particular location, make sure your business cards, if you use them, your Instagram page, Facebook, all of these things are up to date, and you handle your handles. Sell yourself, because when people see Majestic Closets, they see me. Mm-hmm. I'm selling, not only am I selling a service, I'm selling myself, essentially.
Okay.
It's a package deal. So just be very mindful of your vision, be very mindful of how you're portrayed and the message you get across, and be resourceful. Be resourceful.
Okay. So one last question. What is your vision for Majestic Closets? Like, where do you see yourself in, let's say 5 years from now?
Oh my God, 5 years from now, I will be 42 years old. I would love to have my own team, like a full-time team, going with me to homes, selling the vision of Majestic Closet, making sure people's homes, closets, wardrobes are organized, and being a project manager. But for me personally, I would love to be a fixture on the TED Talks circuit.
Okay.
I think that it's important that young female entrepreneurs, especially young Black entrepreneurs, need to see like faces. They need to see that, you know what, this girl came from whatever situation, and now look at her just making it happen. That, I think we need to see it. And I'm always open and willing to talk to young women and men about, you know, the struggles, like the joys and the sorrows of being an entrepreneur, because people think, oh my God, that's so awesome, you got your own business. It's there are moments where you're just like, oh my God, thank you so much, I feel so blessed. And then there are other moments where you're like, this building's not high enough for me to jump. Like, I got to. It's like you really have moments when you question yourself, but then I've always go by the principle, it will always get better. It will always get better. Like, there are moments, and like you can cry, you're like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. It will always get better. Always. You can't stay in the dark forever. Like, the sun always rises and shines in the morning. So it gets better.
Oh, that's good. So before we go, I want you to leave your information so where people can get in touch with you and, you know, hire you to organize their life.
Okay, the website is www.majesticclosets.com. I can be reached on Instagram at Majestic Closets, Twitter, Majestic Closets, Facebook, Majestic Closets. As you can see, it's a consistent theme across the board, so no one will get lost trying to find Majestic Closets. So, or you can reach me at majesticclosets@gmail.com. So that's my tip of the day.
All right, thank you. And we hope that, you know, much success.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.